Hi, my name is James Brown, and I'll be taking you through a two-part video outlining the use, configuration, and functionality of a new indicator I've created called the BreakOut toolbox. The purpose of this toolbox is to allow you to manually set diagonal or horizontal trend line, which you can use to trigger your entry and exits and be notified via email, SMS, or alerts if price action reaches your trend line or closes above or below your trend line. This will allow you to set up your trades in advance and then go live life without missing your trade entries. This also has the functionality of capturing screenshots upon your setups or your alerts so that you can review your trades from beginning to end after the trade has occurred. This has helped me to build confidence in my trading and understanding why I'm entering in the right places or the wrong place and adjusting my trading accordingly. Now, I've put up on the screen here a sample email or SMS that the indicator will send out. I've set it up so that when you manually set up your trend line, when price action reaches the trend line, it's going to let you know. So the first email that I received earlier today was that the US CAD reached the trend line at the certain price, and that it told me when the candle was going to close. So at that point, I had 5 minutes, 22 seconds to get to my computer or wait for the next email to find out whether or not I was going to enter into the trade. I find this really useful when I'm out to eat or with my family and I'm on a larger time frame, a 4-hour chart. It lets me know I've got 2 hours and 30 minutes before the candle closes, either above or below, at which time I can manage my life around trading instead of managing my trading around my life. And so 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes and 22 seconds later, I received an alert with a trade idea for a sell trade, which is the second entry here, saying that it did close below the entry, which was my entry to sell at that point. So I placed the trade and away we went. So this just outlines an example of the emails or SMSs you will receive when setting up that feature within the indicator. Before we get started with the indicator itself, we need to set up MetaTrader for the email alerts. So what we do is we go to Tools, Options, we go to the Email tab, and the email or SMS provider that you use, you will enter in your information. You'll make sure that you select Enable. You will enter in the SMS server, the server information, your logon and password, your email address that you use on that SMS server, and then whatever cell number or email address you would like MetaTrader to notify. When you place in your information here, as well as your contact for the SMS server, user ID, and password, you can do a test to make sure that this works for your configuration. There are many free SMS services out on the web. All you need to do is go out to google.com and do a search on free SMS service, and that should take care. If there are any other questions about setting up your email within MetaTrader, you can also Google email MetaTrader setup or configuration, and there are several handfuls of tutorials helping you to set up your email options. So what I'd like to go through now is the functionality and configuration of the indicator. We go into our indicators list, pull up the BreakOut toolbox, and for easy reference, I've created a text file that shows a little bit easier to read the functions within the indicator itself. So what we start off with here is we show that when you purchased it, you were asked for your account number. The license that you purchased here will be used you can use it on up to 2 accounts. Please refer to the risk disclosure before you use this or any other indicator located at www.robbooker.com/risk.htm. When you start going into the indicator itself, you'll see that you have a user notification. This is where you can set it up to email you, alert you, or take screenshots. Now the screenshots are going to happen whenever the price action reaches the indicator or closes above or below the indicator. Wherever there's a trigger, you're going to get a screenshot if you set this option to true. Your screenshots are going to be labeled based on the type of entry that it triggered on, and they're going to be located at this directory address at your metatraders/experts/files directory. As we go through here, we then get into the tools of the indicator. The tools of the indicator I've made available that have helped me in my trading is either box trades, where you have a high or a low within a consolidation of price range. And again, I'm going to be doing a demonstration of how to use all of these trend lines and notifications in my next video. So you can set up either a box trade if you do consolidations. You can do an entry line, and so if price is looking to go upwards, you want to be notified if the price action reaches and closes above the trend line, then you would use this tool here. If, on the other hand, if you want to be notified when it reaches and closes below the trend line, you would select this to true. Again, I'll go into more detail in the second video. So these are our entry tools. The next section we have is our tools for exits, which you can see right here. In your exits, we have the take profits and stop losses. You'll see a difference here when I use the term notify on take profit. That is used as a horizontal line. If you notify at baseline, that is used as a diagonal take profit. So you have two different ways of taking profit or being notified on a take profit. One is through a horizontal line and one is through a diagonal line. I've done the same thing for being notified on an exit for your stop loss. You have a horizontal stop loss. If you want to use a horizontal stop loss, set this to true. If you want to use a diagonal stop loss, set this to true. So that covers our exits tools. The next one is tools for, I would like to update. I want to be updated when price action hits a break-even territory within my charts. So here, within your preferences, I want to be notified if price closes above break-even for this tool, or I want to be notified if price closes below break-even. If that's the case, I would set this to true. The next section is the tools configuration. Some traders I've talked to don't want to be notified when price reaches the trend line. They only want to be notified when it closes above or below. So I've provided options here. Only notify me if the trend line reaches the trend line, or only notify me if price action closes beyond, meaning above or below the trend line. I have these set as default true, which means you're going to be notified when it reaches and when it closes. So if you like that feature, just leave it as default. This option right here is primarily for diagonal trend lines. Sometimes I've seen in my trading where the candle will go right to the trend line without touching it, and on the opening of the very next candle, it will actually jump over a trend line, which in that case, I miss my entry. What I've done here is I've allowed you to put a range on your diagonal trend lines that says I want to be notified 2 pips below and or 2 pips above that diagonal trend line. You can set this to 10, you can set it to 5, however close you want to be notified. When price action reaches your trend line, you now have the feature of selecting that yourself. The last part of this indicator that I'm going to go through is just setting up the trend lines. A lot of people like to set up the different colors, sizes of trend line, the widths, the types of trend lines, and so I've given you the option of setting up your own colors, widths, and so on for horizontal or diagonal trend lines. And so you just have more of a functionality or control within the indicator yourself. And the last section here for the comments detail, within the indicator setup, the very end, all this does is it allows you to change the text in the lower right hand corner of the indicator to have the text either be larger or smaller. You can actually move the text to the different corners depending on where you would like to be, based on if you use this with other indicators and you don't want it to be in the same corner. You can move it around, you can change the color and the size list. So that concludes the configuration and setup of the indicator, and so in our next video we will talk about usage and functionality. Thank you very much.